This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. President Obama apologizes for a drone strike. A volcano erupts in Chile.
After right shoulder surgery, what a shot by Duncan.
And Clippers fall in overtime to Spurs. Hello, and welcome to Matador News. I'm Sara Vong.
And I'm Maria Cortez. Exciting news for our Periscope users. We are streaming this morning, so make sure to follow us on Twitter at Mata Newscast and watch us live.
President Obama has apologized for the death of 2 hostages during a U.S. drone strike in Pakistan. The drone was aimed at a suspected al-Qaeda compound in January. The strike killed an American economic advisor, Warren Weinstein, and an Italian aid worker, Giovanni Laporto. Weinstein was captured in 2011 from his home in Lahore, and Porto was held captive since 2012.
As President and as Commander-in-Chief, I take full responsibility for all our counterterrorism operations, including the one that inadvertently took the lives of Warren and Giovanni. I profoundly regret what happened. On behalf of the United States government, I offer our deepest apologies to the families.
U.S. officials say Obama did not approve the operation that killed the victims, but the strikes were within range of policy guidance.
A volcano in Chile erupts for the first time in 40 years. Calbuco volcano erupted twice in 24 hours. Authorities issued a red alert to nearby residents from the local towns of Puerto Montt and Puerto Varas in southern Chile. Interior Minister Rodrigo Peinalillo is calling for calm. Peinalillo says the military is being sent to help evacuate and keep order. He says there have been no reports of deaths or missing persons or injuries. The last eruption was in 1962, with the minor eruption in 1972.
Tomorrow marks 100 years since Turkey began massacring more than 1 million ethnic Armenians. Every year, President Obama has honored the anniversary. This year will be no different, but he still does not want to use the term genocide. He says he doesn't want to use the term because he wants to protect his relationship with Turkey, an important Western ally in the fight against terrorism. Pope Francis used the term genocide when he was describing what happened a century ago. But the White House says President Obama will use the Armenian phrase Mez Yehern, or great catastrophe, when he commemorates the anniversary in a speech tomorrow.
European Union leaders take action to address the surge of migrant deaths in the Mediterranean. The leaders agreed to commit new resources to saving the lives of refugees coming into Europe by boat. More than 28 nations are doubling the finances for border operations that patrol the Mediterranean. This meeting comes almost after 2,000 people died at sea this year. The surge in deaths increased after leaders voted to halt the rescue of migrants last year. The peak migration season of late spring and summer has just begun. An estimated tens of thousands of African, Middle Eastern, and Asian refugees are likely to crossing the Mediterranean each month. Today, the Italian Coast Guard rescued 218 migrants traveling on 2 rubber boats around 40 miles north of the Libyan coast. Leaders have also given the green light for military action against human traffickers.
Michael Brown's family has filed a civil lawsuit against the city of Ferguson under Missouri's wrongful death statute.
To this day, we still don't believe that the shooter of an unarmed 18-year-old teenager has never been cross-examined.
The suit also names Officer Darren Wilson. It was Wilson who shot Brown during an arrest last August. The Justice Department did not bring charges against Wilson, and Missouri investigation also cleared him of wrongdoing. The lawsuit accuses Wilson of destroying and interfering with the evidence. Brown's family is seeking $75,000 in damages, in addition to attorney fees.
And now let's go to James Lindsay with the latest in sports.
Thank you very much. The Clippers faced off in Los Angeles last night against the San Antonio Spurs in the second game of their playoff series. The Clippers have home court advantage in the series and won the first game against the defending champs. However, the team has yet to even make the NBA Finals in their franchise history. Last year, they fell to the Thunder in the second round. Tim Duncan refused to show his age as he started hot and stayed that way, finishing with 14 of his 23 field goals. Blake Griffin filled the stat sheet with 29 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists. His performance marks the first triple-double in his playoff career and the first in Clippers franchise history since 1976. And there's last year's Finals MVP Kawhi Leonard with the corner three. Spurs were 8 for 25 from the three-point line. But the game came down to the last second in regulation, with Chris Paul taking the final shot and missing it, pushing the game to overtime. And despite their best efforts, the Clippers were unable to shut down Duncan's consistent shot. This eventually led to J.J. Redick with the ball for the final shot in the hopes of a second overtime, but he misses it. And with that, the Clippers and Spurs are tied 1-1 for the first round series. They are set to play Game 3 tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Pacific on ESPN. In other sports news, the Anaheim Ducks are moving on to the next round of the NHL playoffs after sweeping the Winnipeg Jets. They won 5-2 after Ryan Kessler scored twice in the third period. After the game, Kessler said that they will relish in the win for now, but it is only the first round and the team is planning to win it all. Also, the Los Angeles Dodgers played the San Francisco Giants last night. The focus was on the matchup between pitchers Clayton Kershaw and Madison Bumgarner. The game was the first in which a reigning most valuable player pitched against the reigning World Series MVP. Kershaw held the Giants to 2 runs and 3 hits over 6 innings. He struck out 9 and walked 1. Bumgarner gave up 2 runs and 6 hits. He struck out 6 and walked 2. The Giants ended up beating the Dodgers 3-2 with a game-winning run in the 9th inning. WNBA players Brittany Griner and her fiancée Glory Johnson are out of custody today. The 2 basketball players were arrested last night near Phoenix following allegations of assault and disorderly conduct. Police spokeswoman Lisa Kudis says officers arrested the 2 women after a fight between them turned physical. Kudis went on to say that no weapons were involved and neither required hospital care for their minor injuries. Griner was the first overall pick in the 2013 WNBA draft and plays center for the Phoenix Mercury. Glory Johnson plays forward for the Tulsa Shock. That's all for sports, and now let's go to Eden Trevino with the latest in entertainment news.
Thank you, James. Netflix says it's reviving the early 90s show Full House, with actress Candace Cameron Bure as the lead, continuing her role as DJ. Other original members of the cast are also expected to be making a comeback. Netflix recently won the Peabody Award for Virgunga, a film about Congolese gamekeepers and their efforts to save gorillas. But this company isn't taking much time off to celebrate. Netflix has been busy replacing films like Along Came Polly and Boys Don't Cry in order to make room for movies like Legally Blonde and Give Me Shelter. Talk about a good morning blast from the past. The draft script from the 1985 teen classic is The Breakfast Club has been discovered in a filing cabinet at Maine South High School, the district where the movie was filmed. The manuscript by film director John Hughes reveals that Molly Ringwald's character, Claire Standish, was originally named Kathy Douglas. The high school superintendent says he would like to find a way to display the script as a piece of film and district history. What's the point of living forever when you've found the one worth dying for? Blake Lively faces this dilemma in the soon-to-be-released film Age of Adeline, a story about how a young woman born in the 20th century is made ageless after an accident, but after years of loneliness, she meets a man who might be worth losing her immortality over. The Age of Adeline comes out in theaters tomorrow. And now let's go to James Lindsay with the latest in health news.
Thank you, Eden. The percentage of teens using electronic cigarettes has tripled between 2013 and 2014. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report about 2 million teens use e-cigs, including more than 3% of middle schoolers. 1 in 4 teens are using non-traditional forms of tobacco like e-cigs, pipes, and hookah. Electronic cigarettes do not contain tobacco, but usually have addictive nicotine, which is known to harm brain development in young people. The FDA has proposed regulations to ban minors from buying e-cigarettes. And now let's go to Eden Trevino with the latest in business.
California's unemployment rate has dropped to 6.5%. State data shows this is the lowest level in 7 years. The nearly 40,000 added jobs in March marked almost 4 years of consecutive monthly increases in California. Construction has been the fastest growing industry over the last year. Other industries like business services, leisure, and hospitality are also posting rapid gains. The national unemployment rate is now 5.5%. Apple customers who pre-ordered the much-anticipated Apple Watch may be getting their smartwatch much sooner than they expected. The company announced it will begin shipping out orders tomorrow. Apple had initially said the watch would take a month or longer to arrive. Those placing new orders can still expect to wait several weeks for their watch. The Apple Watch is only available for purchase online. And that's all for business. Let's go to Maria Cortez for the weather report.
Thank you, Eden. So for all you out there going to Matador nights tomorrow, make sure to bring a coat as the weather might be well in the low 60s. This weekend, the temperature will range from the low 70s with the possibility of 10% of rain and winds blowing at 13 miles per hour. But be prepared to have a warm upcoming week with the temperatures in the mid-80s. I'm Maria Cortez.
I'm Sara Vong.
I'm James Lindsay.
And I'm Eden Trevino. Thank you for watching Matador News.